here I am. You can actually see me now, as opposed to a little slide. I think Simon just said he was filming in Germany, but he's in the hotel and his signal's not particularly good. Well, stay with us, Si. Stay with us. Fanny's giving some whoops and hollers. Yeah, appreciate this, guys. It's a little bit of a multimedia scope tonight. I'm going to play you, like I say, that phone call. Nina, good evening as well. Because we're talking about something that I think is just applicable for every single human being on the bloody planet, all right? And that is times in our lives where we just want to throw the towel in any area. It doesn't have to be your career. It could be your relationship. It could be, with your physicality, gym, eating healthy. You might want to give up on a friend or whatever who's let you down. You're just like, I'm not giving them one more chance or whatever. There's times where we're just like, look, just feel like just calling it a day. There's been times, without a doubt, when I've been developing Act on This as a platform, I've totally wanted to give up. I mean, seriously, guys, like, for the first 3 years, it was very much a thankless task. I know there's some people on here tonight who've been with me right from the beginning, but it was difficult. It's really hard when you're trying to do something, and make it mainstream, and make it a force for good. People in life are so fucking cynical, but in the acting industry in particular, people were like, who's this guy trying to set up this platform? Is he legit? And I know we had that scope last Monday where I did a massive rant on people being legit, and there's a load of charlatans in the industry. There just are. I mean, there's a lot of people taking actors' money when they really shouldn't be. It's mental, but, they're the people who should be giving up, but often they don't. The people who shouldn't be giving up, the nice people, very often throw the towel in. So give me some hearts or give me some comments if recently you've wanted to give up on anything, whether it's your acting career, whether it's, like I say, a relationship, whether it's, anything in your life. Loads of hearts are flying through. Because, like, as Fanny says, hell yeah. I think, like, for actors, it's something that, I don't believe anybody who says that they haven't been at that point in their career. I have multiple times. Like, seriously, I've been an actor now for, God, I mean, I left drama school in 2005, so that would be 12 years. But before that, I was doing, 5 or 6 years before that. So getting on for 20 years, I'd say. I have, but no, I will get there. Don't know who said that. Was that Mark? I couldn't see the comment there properly. My phone was being a bit dodgy there. But yeah, it is a matter of kind of perseverance, and there's been loads of times where I've wanted to quit. All my actor friends have wanted to quit. I mean, all of them. Everyone I went to drama school with, the people today who are super, super successful, who I know and I've had the pleasure of working with, have told me there's been times where they definitely wanted to quit. Lee says he's there now. Lee's at this moment now. Well, Lee, what I did right earlier on, guys, is I thought, right, I'm going to get on the phone to a few people who I know will have felt this and are now having success. Fanny says, entering a risky profession. That's the score, though. It is the score. It's kind of what you sign up for. And there's people, like I say, that have been really successful who've definitely felt this. Now, I planned to phone a few people. I was going to phone Julia Hesmondhalgh, who is just about to star in Broadchurch. Well, she's filmed it. She's starring in Broadchurch. You'll know as Hayley from Corrie. She's gone on to have a really good career. She's going to be one of those actresses who makes it after soap. I just know she is. She'll follow in the footsteps of Saran Jones and Catherine Kelly. The people who have gone on to be way more than what they were. In a soap. She stars in the new series of Broadchurch, which I think starts on the 27th of February 2017. I was going to give her a ring. I was going to give Rob Collier a ring. I was going to give Lee Boardman a ring. Just a few people. And then I phoned Rob Collier, and basically he just took over. I had a 15-minute conversation with him. I thought, I can't really phone many people, and I'm going to play you out tonight. Tony says, just think of how many people would miss out. Oh, I can't read all the comments so quick, Tony, but I get your gist. There's a load of people would miss out on some incredible stuff if they'd have given in. It's the most bloody frustrating thing I've ever done, says Nina. But Nina, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. And I'll tell you, right, I'm going to be like a bit brutal tonight because there are two types of people you've probably got in your lives, who are going to tell you it's all right to quit, all right? And they are your family, okay, and your friends who love you. Without a doubt, and there's nothing wrong with that. They love you to the core and, don't want to see you struggle, don't want to see you in pain. So they're going to be, they're going to promote you and give you, as much support as you need to quit. They're going to be like, it's fine. If you want to quit, it's not, it's all right. That's okay. The other people in your life where it's not as okay, I don't think, in my opinion, who are going to tell you it's all right to quit are generally without sounding brutal, sometimes the other losers that are around you, the people who have quit themselves, because it's going to make them feel better about themselves if you quit, because they're going to go, oh, well, you know what? Oh, yeah, I quit, but you know what? He did as well, and they might have quit before you, but ultimately they've lost as well. So true, says, who's that? Something, Team Toy. I don't know any people's names because it's just usernames. Tell me if you're new to the scope, give me your actual first names, guys, so I actually know who you are. Let me know. But yeah, I don't want to sound harsh, but losers in your life are going to tell you that it's okay. Toy, there you go. Losers are going to tell you it's all right, and I am here as a friend to tell you that it's not all right. I'm not quitting no matter what people are saying. Truth, our success makes them feel less about themselves. It does, Tony. Fanny's welcoming Toy. Yeah, Toy, I think I've not seen you on the scopes before, so welcome. Thanks for joining us. But they will tell you it's all right because, it makes it all right for them then that they've given up. So I'm here to kind of tell you to get your shit together, strap your balls back on, and quit focusing on the struggle, because a lot of actors are addicted to the struggle. Do you like Britney Spears' new album? I've not heard Britney Spears' new album, but maybe I should check it out. I'll let you know. So yeah, what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to play you this phone call. It's quite funny. The quality's not great because it's a phone call, all right? But bear with me. Just have a listen. You're going to hear me phone Rob. You're also going to hear me get into a little bit of trouble at the start because I didn't know I was on loudspeaker, and his son Milo was in the room. So massive apologies to children for bad language. But I'm going to play you this. Let me just cue it up now. I can still see your comments during this. Like I said, it's going to be 15 minutes. I'm not going to be able to talk on this mic, but I can still see your comments on the screen. So if anything kind of resonates with you, make a comment, and then I can address it afterwards when I jump back on. And this as well, guys, I'm going to start doing a lot more audio on iTunes. So right now, for about a year, I've been doing something called the 5 to Thrive podcast. Well, it's called the Act on This TV podcast, but I do a feature called 5 to Thrive, which is like 5, 10, 15-minute episodes of these, like almost like these little mini periscopes, okay, just audio, okay, and it's exclusive. It's not been covered in these periscopes. They were just little podcasts that I would do, put them out to give people a bit of a boost and some motivation and share some positive psychology with them. What I'm going to do now is record a lot more on-the-fly stuff. Like, I'll just get on the blower and just phone somebody, record a conversation with them, and I'm going to put that out on iTunes as well. So if you've got iTunes or you use something called Stitcher for podcasts, I always use iTunes because I've got an iPhone, search for Act on This TV, all one word, and it's now called the Act on This TV audio experience. Do us a favour and subscribe, because I'm going to be putting some really cool stuff out that you won't get on the actual website, actonthis.tv. It's just going to be exclusive to the podcast. I'm also going to be putting the audio out of all of these periscopes via iTunes as well, because people were like, you know what, if I catch up on the replay and I'm watching the video, it's eating up all the data on my phone. So I'm now ripping the audio and I'm putting that on iTunes as well, so you can listen to these. We can download them at home, and then you can take them out, listen to them without actually using any data on your phone, because I know it's fucking expensive. Lee says finally. Lee did tell me to do that a long time ago, but it's only recently where I've been able to kind of get the workflow right, so it doesn't take too long to upload it both to the site, YouTube, and iTunes. So that is going to happen. So I'm going to play you this phone call with Rob. You're hearing it completely unedited. You will know Rob from Downton Abbey. He played a character called Thomas. Great guy, great actor. He was in Coronation Street before that. Your podcast link is not in your Periscope bio. No, it's not. I will maybe address that. Thanks for shouting that out, Toy. But yeah, if you just go to iTunes and search for Act on This TV, you're going to find it. It's going to pop up. But yeah, you'll know Rob from Downton Abbey as Thomas. Coronation Street, he played Liam before that. He just did The Level, a brand new series for ITV that's only just aired, and now he's going on to work on some stuff that we can't really talk about, but you will be seeing him again pretty soon. And this is his outlook on quitting, times where he's wanted to quit and why he didn't, and ultimately why you shouldn't either, all right? I'll be back in 15 minutes after this. Leave me some comments and I'll see you very, very shortly, all right? Here he is.
Roscoe Pico Trade.
Collier, how are you doing? How did you know it was me? I'm phoning you on Skype.
It comes up.
It comes up.
You programmed into my phone, it comes up Roscoe Pico Trade.
Excellent. I love it. Listen,
it's called technology.
Technology. I'm pushing technology to the boundaries. I'm calling you out of the blue. You're being recorded. Don't swear. Well, you can swear actually if you want. I don't give a shit. It's absolutely fine.
That's outrageous.
That is outrageous. I'm doing a Periscope tonight, okay? So
Wait a minute, Ross. Wait, you've been collared.
Did you just say shit?
Oh no! Oh no! That's Milo. Am I on loudspeaker or what?
You're busted. You're on loudspeaker.
Oh my God, Milo! I'm so sorry. I apologise. That's terrible.
He's shaking his fist at you.
Right,
Obviously, you got to delete this recorded bit and not use my son's name in it.
Yeah, he can punch. I'll bleep it out so no one hears the name. But I think the interaction is quite funny. Listen, right, I'm phoning you quickly because I'm doing a Periscope. Well, right now, although I'm recording this with you before I'm putting the Periscope out, people are hearing this live right now tonight, and I've had quite a few actors email me in the last 10 days, and they're all about giving up, and a lot of people feeling very down, rejected. Some people have been going at this acting, malarkey for 3, 4, 5 years or whatever. And they're like, right, is it time for me to call it a day? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to ring some of my successful mates and just go, listen, how many times did you feel like that?
Why are you ringing me then if you said successful mates? You should be ringing people like Richard Branson.
Well, I don't know Richard Branson, but I figure Richard Branson hasn't...
Well, you should do.
I know, I'm getting to know him somehow at some point. But I figure... starring in one of the biggest shows ever created on the planet kind of classes as success. So how many times before Downton, post Downton, whatever, have you been like, man, is this the right thing for me to do? And how have you got through it?
I think every actor goes through that. I don't think there's one actor who can legitimately say I've never had those doubts. It's part of psychology, makeup of what makes us actors. And then you look at people like Dustin Hoffman, who literally, I think 15 years before he got his first proper job, he was doing all sorts of, you can see him on YouTube, dodgy adverts for car insurance and stuff like that. He kept going. Richard E. Grant was another one before Withnell came along. He hadn't worked for 7 years, nothing whatsoever. And then Withnell came along and it was made for him. Only he could have played it. So, and then there's the old adage, Buster Merrifield from, Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, yeah, I love that show.
My son's just going, oh, yeah, I love that show. He's 7. I don't. Go on, you can say that on the Periscope live. Say it.
Well, these aren't any old lawnmower engines. They're broken lawnmower engines.
Nice, classic lines for Only Fools.
So, the Buster who played Uncle Albert, he was a retired bank manager, you know what I mean? And he got one of the biggest gigs ever right at the age of, I don't know, what, 60 or something like that. So there's always a role out there waiting for you. So if Richard E. Grant had given up after 7 years of nothing, and that was after coming out of the top drama school as well, we would never have seen Withnell as played by him. So I think you've just got to keep going because something will turn up.
When we were sat,
you just don't know when.
Exactly. When we were sat around your house, for when we were writing back in the day, and every single day, you just left Corrie, and every single day you were kind of your agent was ringing you with the wrong stuff and things like that, and things you were turning down. I think you went for well over 12 months, wasn't it? What was it like at that point before Downton came along?
Well, I think it was about 15 months in total I was out of work. And like you say, I was waiting for the right kind of work, but, so turning down certain jobs, you've just got to be brave and bite the bullet. I'm not going to say it's easy. I just sort of kept working at what I was doing, kept working out. I didn't get complacent, didn't wait for the phone to ring, be proactive, ring your agent up, send out letters or show reels to people who might be casting directors, write to people, reach out, because at the end of the day, it costs you the price of postage. But you just got to keep doing something to keep busy, to keep your mind active, keep your mind off it, and just have sort of faith and confidence in your ability that something will come along. And like I say, it's not always easy. 15 months for me, that's a very long time. So looking back now, I don't even know how I did get through it, but I suppose it was being proactive, having something to do as well, so I'm not always thinking 100% about the acting world, whether it be a hobby or something like that. And yeah, just keep staying positive positive mental attitude. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true. Negative thoughts don't do anything, do they, really? And it's hard to keep them at bay, but think positively and just keep going and don't give up. That's the reason you start. I think a lot of us been instructed. There's another belter from me, little lad. Have a growth mindset.
Oh my God! This is what we talk about on these Periscopes. How does he know that? Has he been reading Carol Dweck's book?
In assembly, it makes it a quarter of an hour longer.
It makes it quarter of an hour longer in assembly.
That is amazing.
Teaching him that. So yeah, that's how he knows. Nothing I've taught him.
That's incredible. It's really telling him keep that up. Ultimately, Rob, I think for me is like what I've learned watching you and other people who I know who have gone on to get those kind of defining roles is that if you have just thrown in the towel during that 15 months, then the last 5-6 years of your life would have been very, very different. And if you wouldn't have been around, you might not have been seen for Downton, and you might not have got that, and ultimately it changed your life. So you just never know. The point is for me is that you never know when that call is going to come, and some people will give up the day before, and they'll never know that it was the day before because they just didn't stick it out long enough.
Exactly. And I've given a few examples there. People like Dustin Hoffman and Richard Grant, who are absolutely brilliant actors, who it wasn't easy for them. So if you think, wow, it wasn't easy for Dustin Hoffman, then it gives you a bit of hope that, yeah, he's trodden the same path that these guys, who you're speaking to are now. He's been along that path and he's come out the other side. So it sounds cheesy, but you could be the next Dustin Hoffman. But if you pack it in, you'll never know, will you? Yeah,
I always say, remember the actor who gave up? Nope, neither does anybody else. So there you go.
So yeah, and it's also not a question of giving up and stopping. I don't think you never stop. You can maybe, if it's a financial thing, then maybe you could. You have to get work. That's fine, get work. But I started out working full time and doing acting classes in the evening. You know what I mean? And did it that way around. So you can still keep acting in some way, shape, or form. If it's a financial reason why you might have to quit, I still think you should keep your ear in, because then you'll have on days off you can go for auditions or whatever. You can write your own play. You can write into places. I just think, even if you have to stop for financial reasons, you can always carry on in some capacity, whether that be script writing on your weekends and send them into places, whether it be going to acting classes on the weekends or after work. I just think it's worth keeping your hand in, even just the fact that it's like a vocation, isn't it? It's something that you love doing. So why stop yourself from doing it? Yeah,
no, I agree, man. I agree. I think people just need to, focus on the long game, as opposed to looking at even 2 years as short term. That's not short term. I look at like 10 years as short term, and then long term is like 40 years from now. You've got to kind of think, this thing just does not happen overnight. And if you do quit, then you never know what you've missed out on tomorrow.
But it's also what you define as success, because I've where I've just moved to now, I met a lovely lady who's written and directed her first amateur theatre production of Shakespeare. Now, for her, that's incredibly successful, because she'd never ever thought she'd want to do it. She'd be able to do something like that. You know what I mean? Success doesn't have to be, you have to be this big worldwide star, you have to be on TV, you have to be in a film.
Yeah.
Success is what makes you happy, and what it doesn't have to be these huge heights. It can just be something like, I wrote something and I sent it into a program and they used it, or whatever, or I did something at the parish hall and the community joined in and we put on a production and we sold tickets. It was great. That's just as successful as appearing in Broadway, as far as I'm concerned, because you've done it all off your own back.
Yep, it's impact, man. You're making an impact. So what is that? A Shakespeare thing she's done?
Yeah, and she just put on, and it's the local community players, and she put it on, and her husband directed it, and it's an amateur production, but it's sold out every night. Did it in the local church. Fantastic.
Winner. Do you remember the first time we did Shakespeare?
Well, should we say the first time I attempted Shakespeare is more akin to the point, I think. Yeah. Yes, I do, Ross. Yeah.
It was literally one of the best nights of my life, that, and it's a defining moment when I actually thought, right, I'll be mates with this guy. He's all right. he gets along with Shakespeare as much as I do, so it's fine.
Well, this is a bit of an in-joke, which is going to be hard for your listeners because they haven't a clue what you're talking about, Ross.
Well, maybe you could actually kind of give a little recital of the type of thing you did that night with your soliloquy.
I'd love to, but I'm being shouted from the other room, so I think I've got to go and be a dad.
All right, okay, I'll let you off with that effectively. But actually, you probably said as much as you did on the night of Shakespeare's verse, because I don't remember very much apart from blah-de-blah.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm going to go anyway, Ross. But I hope my words have helped in one way. But in conclusion, we all go through it. We all always doubt ourselves, even the best. I don't categorise myself as the best, by the way. I'm just saying. And yeah, it's just it's part of the course. It's just how we deal with those feelings and how we turn them on the head. Yeah. Keep going. That's all I can say.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. I was going to ring a few people, but you've basically taken up all the time. So this is just exclusively you this week, but I'll get some other people on at some other point.
I do tend to babble on.
It's good, man. Babble up. On. Mate. It's valuable. Appreciate it. Go and be a dad, and I'll catch you with you soon, mate.
All right, mate. Take care. Bye.
Nice one, dude. See you in a bit. Bye. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this, folks. If you enjoyed this, please share it with your friends. Subscribe to the Act on This TV audio experience on iTunes or Stitcher by searching for Act on This TV, all one word, and come and get involved with the Act on This community for real at both www.actonthis.tv and also inside our private Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. Leave me a review if you've got time. I would love you for that. And I'll be back very, very soon. Appreciate you all so much. So there you go, guys. That was just a little chat that I was having with Rob. I could see all the comments coming through, and there was a few things that kind of kept cropping up. One was Rob was already having he was already being seen for stuff when he came out of Corrie. Thank you, Jen. Jen says fantastic. Thank you. Thanks, Helen. I saw you join as well. Yes, Rob did leave a show, and that was when he went 15 months without work. I think, in all honesty, that's way fucking harder. When you've come out of a show that's so big, it's as big as Coronation Street. He's in Coronation Street as a lead in there. All the women wanted to sleep with him. All the guys wanted to be his friend. I mean, like in the public eye. He was a great guy. Lou says, what a top guy he is. He's a brilliant guy, Rob. And super, super popular guy. Was getting paid very, very well. Decided off his own back he was going to leave. He wasn't written out of it through no choice of his own. He chose to leave. And not only did he choose to leave, he chose to be written out of it and killed. So he couldn't go back because he felt in his heart of hearts he'd taken that role for those 2.5 years as far as he possibly could. And that he couldn't take it any further. Big risk, but he's always been a risk taker. So he effectively just burnt his bridges. He burnt the boats. He was like, right, that's it. I am where I am, and that's it. I can't go back to Corrie like a lot of people do. When they find on the outside, it's fucking hard. Emmerdale the same. EastEnders the same. They leave, they realise it's hard, they go back because they like the cushy lifestyle and they want the money. He didn't do that, and he couldn't do that. So if anything, Lee, I think it's harder on him to go, shit, I've given up this great gig and now I've gone 15 months with nothing. Have I just made the biggest mistake of my life? No safety net, says Brian. Kudos to him. Yeah, absolutely. It's it's difficult. And the other thing that I would say to people as well is if genuinely, you are thinking of giving up. You sound just like the little one in Take That top interview. Oh right, what was his name? The little one. I know who you mean, Mark Owen. He's very, very mank, Rob. But how there was no interest in others seeing him for work after Corrie? Because he was seen as a soap star, which a lot of people are. He was just seen as this good-looking mank guy who just got lucky in soap. They didn't really, that's how it is. The industry's very, kind of fickle like that. But wouldn't his profile at that point be enough to get him through the door? No. If anything, honestly, it works harder. My ex-girlfriend was on Hollyoaks for 3 years. When she left, it was so hard to get her through the door of other stuff because people judge. People would rather have a fresh face from drama school than someone who they see as typecast in a soap as a particular role. Very few people make it when they leave soaps. You're only really talking Catherine Kelly, Saran Jones. Rob's now made it. Very, very few. Rob's 40. Mary says, how old's Rob? I think he's about 41. Mary's around just over 40, I think. But back then, I mean, we're talking, he's probably in his mid-30s when all this was kind of going off. Surely you're better off not doing soap as an actor. It depends what you want, Fanny. If you're struggling for 6-7 years and someone offers you a regular role in soap and you're getting regular money, you can buy a house out of it, then who's not going to take that? And soap is such a lovely job to do. It's very, when you're in it regular, from my friends who are, I've never experienced that. I've only ever done 1 or 2 episodes at a time. It's really hard and, proper fast turnaround. You are basically in sometimes all day, go home, learn more lines, have a tiny bite to eat, bed, up the next day. It's grueling. A lot of people can't hack the turnaround. But, if you're like, if I can put up with this for 2 years, 3 years and live a lovely life from it and also get so much better as an actor, you can't help but get better when you're doing soap. It's a really. I'm sorry, missing these comments, guys. They're coming through really quick on my phone. But yeah, I think it's a great gig if you can get that. But you need to be a good actor if you're going to work afterwards. Simple as that. If you're good enough, you will work. Julie Hesmondhalgh has now done it. If you're good and you're a real actor, you can do it. You really can do it. So no, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. We should choose what kind of pain we want, says Tony. Yeah, what's that? Is that a book, Tony? I didn't know if you were saying that was a book. Can you make your own YouTube Red movies? Don't know what you're talking. I don't know about YouTube Red, Toy. To be honest with you, I'll research that though. Pain of working our way. Or pain on a desk job. Yeah, exactly. You choose your own pain. Basically, Lee, you could quit and do a 9 to 5 desk job. You could get paid 20-25 grand a year, stable income, and you can have no worries when you go home. When you close the door on your office, it's done. You don't take the work home with you, and you can watch Netflix all night, go back in the next day, do that Monday to Friday, have one holiday a year, and get to your 85th birthday, and then look back going, fuck, what if? Why did I just opt for the safe life as opposed to the potentially extraordinary life? It's from a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's a great read. Thanks, Tony. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Beep. We shall check that out. So for me, yeah, it's like I've felt this, guys, many, many times before in my own career, in my own life as well. Winners never quit, quitters never win, says Nina. And I felt it through, even setting up this, what we're doing now, right, through Periscope. 6 years ago when I set up Acts on this, if I'd have thought 6 years down the line, I'd effectively have a TV studio in my office at home and I'd be able to talk to thousands of people live, broadcast audio, video, I'd have been like, nah, no chance. But I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was just looking at one step at a time. What's the next thing for me? Sometimes it's been so thankless. I mean, I love you guys. You're so loyal and you turn up and we have a great chat and, we have a really great time on here. But it's been times before this technology existed where it's felt so fucking lonely creating a platform for actors and then getting emails from people who have subscribed to my email list who then send me an email going, stop sending me this shit. And I'm like, I'm sending you great stuff and you've signed up for my email list. Why you being so mean? And sometimes you just think, fuck it, I can't be arsed and I don't want to do this anymore. No one appreciates it, it's bullshit. And then out of the blue, you will get an email from someone going, oh my God, you don't know me, you'll never meet me, but this content I've seen of yours has just changed my life. And bang, it's like game back on. And it's the same with auditions. They can come at any time as an actor. You can think, forget it, I'm not interested. Bang, you get a call from your agent and it's back on. Okay, 2 things came through for me today that I didn't know about yesterday. One was a voiceover job for Line Pictures tomorrow, some ADR on a brand new show they're doing. And the other one was a casting director who has landed a new job who he wants to help. He wants me to help him cast a little bit, and hopefully I'll maybe find some kind of in there to maybe audition for something. But I didn't know they were going to happen yesterday. And now today I feel much more on it because I'm like, well, you know what? That's been a big boost. You might get that tomorrow. Ross, you're an angel. Never listen to the negative comments. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. But yeah, you just don't know, guys, what tomorrow brings. And you know what? If you've been living the same week for the last 6 months, ask yourself honestly in here, hand on heart, go, have I actually been doing everything I possibly could do to progress my career? Or have I been still playing it a bit safe? Have you really been doing what you need to do? Yes, you might have been doing the things like getting on Spotlight, applying to agents and filming a show reel. In my mind, that's still fucking safe, guys. It's really, really safe because it's what everybody else in the industry is doing. Do what everyone else is doing, have what everybody else is having. Generally not that much success. You've got to start doing things a little bit differently. Maybe start writing your own stuff, filming your own stuff, putting on your own productions, inviting people to those, filming your own things and distributing them on the web. We did a whole Periscope on distribution last week. You've got 5 billion viewers potentially. Would you say Spotlight is essential other than cast web? I would say Spotlight, to be taken seriously, is essential. Now, I know some people might be downhearted about that because they're like, I don't have the credits to get on Spotlight, but that's just part of the journey. We've all been there where we don't have the credits to get on Spotlight, or we don't have the credits to apply for something, to get in equity, to apply to the Actors Guild if you want to do workshops with them, that kind of thing. You need credits. That's part of your job, all right? If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Today, I emailed 2 casting directors and telephoned Nina Gold. Brian, man, that is like fair play. Phoning up Nina Gold, probably the most prestigious casting director in film and TV in the country, people would shit their pants multiple times before they would dare do that, Brian. Fair play, man. That's kind of like getting out of your comfort zone, all right? Seriously, that's good. That's really good. Good on you for doing that. But yeah, you've got to do these kind of things, and just be as proactive as you possibly can. Because as Brian says, it is down to you. Definitely. Mary says just finished a short film and a one-woman show. But now what? Well, that's up to you, Mary. You up your game. Okay, you're looking for constant improvement, guys. You do one thing, you then go on to the next. Okay, and you should up your game, raise the bar. Tony says, way to go, Brian. So it's no, it's great. But yeah, no, honestly, you must. And what normally happens, right? This is the psychology behind it. You believe in your potential first of all, okay? You take action based on your potential. So if you feel you're going to not have any potential, you're never going to take enough action, okay? That's going to dictate your results. When you get good results, okay, because you believe in your potential and you've taken enough action, then it feeds back into your belief system that goes, see, I told you I could do it. And then next time, you should, Mary, if you've just come off 2 great productions that you've done yourself, you should be like, wow, fucking hell, I've got more potential now. And thus you take even more action, you get even better results. And this is how you're going to get better and better and better. And it's how you're going to get richer and richer, and how the poor are going to get poorer and poorer, because they think they don't have the potential. They take little action, they get shit results. They say, I told you I couldn't do it. Next time they think they've got less potential, less action, worse results. And it goes on and on and on. So you've got to be looking for constant improvement in every area of your life. Act on This started out as a little site with a couple of articles. I then went, right, I've got the article thing going. I'm going to do podcasts. I went, okay, I've got the podcast thing going. I'm going to do live online broadcasts, interviews. I thought, right, I've got those going. And then, a couple of years later, I'm like, right, I'm, now doing broadcast quality, multi-camera interviews in person, okay, to the point where... And I never saw this coming at all, right? I used to have to beg people to collaborate with me on Act on This. Fanny, I know you're setting up your thing on Twitter at the moment. I promise you, it's going to be hell for like 12, 24 months, all right? But today I got an email out of the blue from Backstage, okay? Probably the biggest platform on the planet for actors. They get 2.5 million visits a month to their website. They approached me to say, we want to partner with you. Will you write for our publication? And, how can we help you? That would have been unthinkable 5-6 years ago when I first set this up. I'm like, shit, who on earth knows who I am? Who's going to trust me? Who's going to believe me? We have all of this imposter syndrome that we have whenever we're doing anything new. And you might be having this thing in your life right now of like, well, why should it be me? Or, if you're thinking of setting up a side hustle to supplement your acting career. I know Lee, you want to do fitness. Lee like commits massively to Beachbody, the kind of online fitness guys, and the videos and the DVDs. He's constantly... looking for kind of new workouts and that kind of thing. And he's got a lot to bring to the game when it comes to physicality and fitness for people who want to get into it. Yet he's still saying things like, I saw you say today, why would anybody, trust me or whatever? Nina says, I remember when you first started, Ross, it's gone ballistic. But it's growth and it's organic, Nina, isn't it? And if I'd have given up 3 years ago, we literally wouldn't be here right now. I would not be physically sat in this seat right now, and you wouldn't be able to watch me because I wouldn't have even looked at how to use online broadcasting because the site wouldn't exist. And I promise you guys that your future self, please, if you just fucking hang in there, is going to thank you for hanging in there. And you will have that where you look back on 5 and 6 years and go, shit, you know what? Remember that night when I thought I was going to jack it all in? And I came on that Periscope and maybe I thought, oh, I'm not going to. your future self's going to be so grateful. People like you, Ross, and Fanny and Tony are really inspiring. Well, cheers, Brian. Appreciate that. But equally, you guys carry the baton as well, and you have the responsibility to pass this sort of stuff on to other people. We've gone on the journey together, Nina. We have, absolutely. I remember back in the day doing a Periscope to one person, and on a couple of occasions, no one turned up. I still had to present like there were people there for the replay, but there weren't. It was just me on my own. Now, when I look on some replays on Twitter, there's 500-600 views, from one. So it's something that's going to grow gradually. Your acting career is going to go gradually, like your relationships are going to grow gradually, your health, your physicality. You can't go in the gym, pump some weights for 3 weeks and go, there you go, I'm in great shape. It's going to take you 5, 10, 15 years to get to where you want to go. And if you've been in the acting industry for any less than that, you've still got time on the clock, guys. If ultimately, if you've got that grit and determination, and behind every overnight success, it's fucking 15, 20, 25 years of work. Don't believe any bullshit you read in papers about an actor who suddenly came out of nowhere. 99% of the time they didn't. I did Facebook Live once to one person. Oh, Facebook Live to one person yesterday. It happens, says Tony. It does, Tony. I will tune in. Tony Rossi on Facebook. Tune into him. 10 years to make overnight success, says Kevin Spacey. Absolutely. I missed your comment, Pat. Pat said something about people being deluded that they can. I think it was about, just getting instant success. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. It really, really doesn't. You've got to work hard. There's, I always say, working harder is so much better than working smarter. So working smarter doesn't exist. A lot of people will sell you this bullshit concept of, oh no, it's not about how hard you work, it's how smart you work. I think you need both, all right? I think hard work is more valuable than smart work, but you've got to work hard on smart things, ultimately. And if you've been doing something for 6 months and it's not been giving you any results, just change it up. You've got to change it up, but what are you doing? That's another thing, you've got to actually have, what am I doing? Am I just writing bog standard generic emails to casting directors because it's bollocks. It's literally pointless. It really is. Sometimes, I get probably a couple of dozen emails from actors some weeks asking for things, various advice, or, just stuff that's going on. And I have a policy where I just reply to everybody. Because I feel that if you've taken the time to write to me, I'm gonna answer you, all right? But I'm still only getting maybe 24, 25 emails a week to reply to. Sometimes I really can't be arsed because the people who have written to me ultimately have shown no effort whatsoever. They've written to me to go, it annoys the fuck out of me actually sometimes, right? Because there are people who know me through Act on This, okay, but they've clearly never really looked at the site or what's on it or searched for anything or looked for any help themselves. They just go, oh, I want to get into voiceover, what do I do? It's like, have you actually had a look at, the dozens of articles that I've written on this? Go and have a look and do a bit of research yourself. I'll always reply and I'll be very, very nice. But sometimes you've got to do more than what you're doing. Some people are just like doing the bare minimum. And not even the bare minimum, less than that, and then expecting other people to just give it them on a plate. Don't say to me, oh yeah, I'm thinking of getting into voiceover, how do you do it? Well, what have you done? Have you researched any of it yourself? Because nobody did that for me. I initially did it all. Ultimately, everything that I do today, I research and just, do everything on my own, more or less. I ask for help and I reverse engineer other people's success and go, how have they done it? Right, I'm going to show some nous and do it myself. I'll reach out to people and say, without any sort of transactional kind of stuff, look, how can I help you? How can I add value? I will do this for you, indefinitely or for 6 months. I just want to learn a bit more from you. What can I do for you? Constantly looking at ways to add value, ultimately. And then some people will email me and not add any value. People just email you and go, hi, yeah, would love to have a coffee and cake with you. Well, of course you would. I'd love to have all the hours in the day to come and sit and drink coffee and eat cake, but I haven't. So I can't. That isn't the answer at all. You've got to add value. If someone emailed me and went, Ross, listen, I'm a graphic designer, or I'm a video editor, or an audio editor. I'll edit all your podcasts for you, but I just want to have a coffee with you and pick your brains then. Bang, they're going to get my attention like instantly. Be like, yes, you've brought something to the table straight away. Yes, I want to spend some time with you. As opposed to just, I'm lost, help me. And I'll always reply to those as well and do my best, but I just don't have time to give real in-depth kind of advice on stuff like that. Self-motivation, says Pat. If you fly to Chicago, I'll even pay for coffee, maybe cake. Tony, one day, pal, definitely. Share, says Mary. There's no scientific formula to success. It's only work. Hard work eventually pays. Definitely does. But you will see results. And like I say, if you're not seeing those results yet, look at what it is you're doing. And you might be working really, really hard, but just on the wrong thing, okay? And it might just take a tiny little tweak. But just start doing things differently. Just start believing in yourself more. You know, I've said this before, your odds of being on this planet are 400 trillion to 1. All right, you became like a fucking miracle when you were just born. You survived, and you know, and you're here today. You beat 400 trillion to 1 odds. You're not telling me you don't have it in you to beat the odds of actually having some success in the acting career that's going to, you know, fulfill you. I fear I'm working really hard, but in the wrong areas. Well, we need to adapt. We need to adapt, Fanny. You've got to adapt, change direction. You might need to change direction 5 degrees. If you change direction 5 degrees and drive an hour, you're going to end up in a very different destination. Your old agent's podcast was interesting. It's not my old agent, Pat. So Jane Holler was my agent now. And well, I don't know what she was saying. You actually, I didn't get back to you. I needed to listen to the podcast because you asked a question about it. I couldn't remember what her comments were. I think it's about drama school or people going later in life. She was saying that she feels that people going later in life, I think this is what she was saying, sometimes have an advantage because they can take all that life experience with them to drama school, tap into all those emotions they've felt that an 18-year-old has never felt. You know, hopefully if they've lived a nice, happy life by that point. You know, we don't want people to feel all the emotions you've probably been through by the time you're 50 at 20. But you have an advantage if you go to drama school at 50. You can really, you know, bring everything that life has taught you to the table. Whereas an 18-year-old kid, a 20-year-old kid, wet behind the ears. You know, me going to drama school at 19, I couldn't, you know, relate. I was playing Leontes, you know, a king in The Winter's Tale, Shakespeare, as a 19-year-old boy. How the hell was I ever going to do that role justice? It's bullshit. I'd never experienced being a king. I'd never experienced being married. I'd never experienced thinking my wife was cheating with my best friend. It just hadn't happened at 19. Yet in the story it had. You know, so I couldn't relate to it. I just had to pretend. And a lot of acting is just pretending, and that's fine. You know, sometimes people overthink it. But I think if I had done that role now, I'd be able to bring way more to the table. So, so the older you get, don't write yourself off and think you've got less potential, people. Or think, you know, that actually you should give up now because that's another thing that's against you, your age. Bullshit. You heard Rob at the start talk about all those people who had made it much later in the game. So I love overthinking, says Fanny. A lot of people do. And again, that was what Rob was saying then. Get something else as well. You know, start focusing. I love focusing on lots of different things. Yes, I have my acting. I love web development. I love live broadcasting. You know, I love lots of different areas of being creative ultimately. And I would never just define myself as an actor and go, that's it, this is me for the next 70 years. You know, you get to 90 odd and that's all you've done. Limited life, in my opinion. Be good to get a round table of a few actors of every age to share their knowledge. Yeah, would, Nina, definitely. That's something that I would love to do. Without a doubt, that would be great. You know, we could definitely do something like that, either a podcast or, you know, some kind of video. I know there is another podcast provider who's doing something similar to that, but in my opinion, man, they're all so fucking negative. Like, just in general, a lot of those podcasts I hear are all about focusing on the struggle, as opposed to actually focusing on the opportunity. So I don't listen to that kind of stuff. Being a whole person makes you a better actor, definitely, Tony, without a doubt. So ultimately, yeah, you know, I just want to throw out this as well, guys. This is something that you've all seen before. I know you have. Who's seen this before? Have you seen that? Have you seen this before? You got one guy on the top there, just about to hit the diamonds. Look what he's doing. He's fucking walking away. And you've got this other guy on the top, hustling like a dog. And he's going to get there, because look at his face. Look at the determination there. Look how beaten the guy on the bottom is. And I've seen this, honestly, so many times. Luckily, I've seen it where people have walked away and they've kind of been rescued. And, you know, they didn't know how close they were at the time and someone's giving them a second chance. But this is life, man. This happens so often. People just get to the point where they're just beaten. And they're like, right, that's it. And I'm like, mate, if you just hung in there, you didn't know how close you were to actually having that success, you know. And I've been here so many times, like I say, with the website, without a doubt. Is it possible you never reach the diamonds? Don't know, Fanny. You know, it's up to you to find out. Tell me when you're 90. Let me know. You know, I think it's impossible to not hit some. a few small ones at the least, you know. There's different shaped and sized ones there you can see on the screen. I think if you just keep going, regardless, you're going to hit a few. You know, I can't promise everybody millions of dollars in the bank and worldwide success. You know, there's some kind of sometimes there's goals that are in the delusional zone. Okay, we want goals that are in the zone of, you know, the uncomfortable zone. We don't want any goals in the comfort zone ultimately. But then what if you spend your whole life hustling and not reaching, you feel you had been a waste? Well, it's not, is it? You know what? If I got to the end of my life and I was like, you know what? I gave it everything. I'm going to my grave with nothing left in the tank. I'd be happy because I know that I'd exhausted and I'd given it my all. And, you know, and I know I will also, by doing that, we'll have success. You can't. It's binary. It's like it happens or it doesn't. You can't work really hard, you know, consistently and do good work and do positive work and add value to people's lives and not get something in return. You just can't. That for me is an impossibility. What you can do is convince yourself that you're doing everything you can and actually sitting back and staying in your comfort zone and then getting to the end of your life and going, oh, well, you know what, yeah, you know, it was never going to happen, was it? No, bullshit. You're not working hard enough. It's like that combination, you know, of hard work and smart work as well. I don't think like people who say work smart or not hard, I don't buy into it 100%. You've got to work hard on the right things. And you never know what they are until you work on as many things as you can. So just keep going. And focus on what you appreciates, guys, you know, and what you focus on, you get more of. We say this all the time. It's very simple. Focus on all the problems. That's all you're going to get. I worked 10 years at the immigration control, stress combined with long hours. Patrick's got out of that. He's shitting his pants because he's like, is it the right thing to do? Well, you know what, Pat, time is going to tell, but you're going to know. That's a beautiful thing. If you were in that role right now, you'd still be asking yourself those questions. Is it going to work? Is it going to work? People do this with the relationships all the time. I've done it myself, you know, and gone, oh, maybe I should stay away from that because I don't know if it'll work. You know what? Just do it. Just commit. Go for it. What's the worst that can happen? Ultimately, at what point do people start dying when you don't get a reply from a casting director or you don't get a job? Never. You know what I mean? There's way worse problems. We've all got such first world problems worrying about whether we're going to be a successful actor or not. There's people in the world, guys, just wondering if they're going to be alive tomorrow. That's another thing, you know, you need to fucking get a grip. You know, this is just basic, slightly harsh talking here, but it's real. You know, just fucking get some perspective. You know, it's bullshit if you're just playing the woe me card and you're living currently in the UK, you know, as even, you know, a very working class kind of, you know, lifestyle right now. You're still living better than 90. I think the statistics really are something like 97.9% of the rest of the world. So let's get some perspective here and stop being losers, ultimately. So strap your balls back on, everybody, and let's go out there and get them this week, yeah? Has it been useful? Did you think, you know, the stuff from Rob was interesting? I would like maybe to do a series of these. Maybe next week I'll get Julie Hesmond-Hausch, and then the week after I could get Lee and a few other people I know, you know, who've had real success or are having, you know, real success right now, and see what, you know, what their opinions are as well. Yeah, defo. I think it's always nice, isn't it, to hear from people who are, you know, living the dream almost, you know, that people see. Even though behind closed doors, I promise you they won't be. Not everything will be perfect in their life. But you know, it's nice to hear that they go through the same stuff as us. Fanny says, can you do video calls with these people? I can, definitely. That would have to be an arranged thing, and I do those, Fanny. You'll see there's an actsonthis.tv. You will see those in the live broadcast section. So I do live Q&As with video Q&As with really successful people or casting directors, and people can tweet us questions live. There will be more of those happening. You can watch the replays of all of those right now on actsonthis.tv. But that requires, obviously, a lot more setup in terms of scheduling. These phone calls, I can just call them on the fly, you know, and go, even if they're in the car, you know, I just give them a ring one day and go, right, I'm recording you, let's have a little chat. It's dead natural. They've got no time to think or overplan it. And then I can put them out on these Periscopes. So, you know, it's quite a lot easier to do it that way. But I will definitely do some live broadcasts this year. I got in touch with Ben Cogan this week, well, just today. He spent 15 years at the BBC as a casting director. He's now gone freelance. He's working on a couple of big projects right now he can't talk about, so he can't do a scope. Well, not a scope. He can't do a live broadcast with me right now because the things he wants to talk about, he can't yet. But he will be coming on the site at some point, pretty soon in the next couple of months, I imagine. So he'll definitely be one that we're doing a live broadcast with. Love that man. He's brilliant. He seems a really nice guy. I've never met him, Nina. I've only ever spoken to him online, on Twitter or on email, but great guy. Nice guy. Liverpool fan, unfortunately, says Pat. Love Ben, says Helen. He seems very enthusiastic, very friendly, and just a good all-round egg, really. So I'm excited to hear what he is working on. And then we'll bring him on for a for a live chat. That will be a live video call where you'll be able to get involved with that as well. So helpful, and he loves actors, says Nina. Well, she's put he lives actors, but I'm sure you mean loves. But yeah, so I will get him on. And anyone else you think, that would be nice to have him on or her on, tweet me at Ross A. Grant is my personal account, or at Act on This TV, and let me know, and then I'll do my best. The great thing is now Act on This is kind of evolving. Becoming much more of an established name, then people, are getting more and more involved with it. I've got some great video guests coming up. I've still got two Act on This TV episodes to put out there. I've got them. I've filmed them. They're great interviews. But unfortunately, a piece of software I use for the audio has had an update that has then broken it. And the developers of the audio plugin have said, listen, we're going to get you a new version of it within the next week. And they still haven't. So the minute they get the new version to me and it's fixed, I'll be able to export those and put them on the site. That's an interview with George Bakari, great actor, who, young Asian actor. He lost 11 stone recently. And the other one was Jordan Hogg. Pat's saying there. Jordan Hogg is a great director for Coronation Street. He's got cerebral palsy, been through loads of adversity, but he's a fantastic actor. Fantastic director. George is a fantastic actor. You'll know him from something called Ordinary Lies with Jason Manford and Michelle Keegan and Joe Joyner, and you'll know him from The A Word with Chris Eccleston. George, so he tells a great story. He had to lie to his parents because of the culture he grew up in. He had to lie to his mum and dad that he was an actor and that he was doing a drama degree. He had to tell them he was doing a business degree because his stepdad, to quote, and George says this in the interview, said, look, acting's like a form of prostitution in our culture. George was determined to do it. It's a fascinating interview. I know you're going to really enjoy it. And Jordan's interview was fantastic. Gets a bit emotional at some points, but he's just a really inspirational guy. The right side of his body through cerebral palsy is, he can't walk very far. That's one thing he said that was great though. He went, all through my life, he said, I've had to fight and, stand and fight. He said, because I can't run away. Literally, the guy physically cannot run away. So both physically and metaphorically, this guy's just had to stand there and fight. And I think right now, if you're thinking of quitting and giving up, you just got to fucking get up. Stop being a walkover and and fight back. So I think you're going to enjoy those interviews. I will put those out as soon as I get this software fixed, and then I'll be filming some more interviews very soon. Actually, Rob's going to come back on to do a video interview, who you heard from tonight. Julie's going to come on, who you heard from. Oh, you're going to hear from. She's coming in to do a video interview. Tell us all about Broadchurch, what that was like. Overseas casting directors for Acts on This. In terms of people from the States and stuff, Toy, I don't have a huge knowledge of them, but I've had a few people from the States on. We had a guy called Sam Christensen. He used to be a cast. He was a top casting director back in the day. He cast MASH. Who remembers MASH? Brilliant theme tune. He was a bit of a veteran casting director. He came on to talk about what actors can bring to an audition that isn't just the acting. He's a great guy for branding and kind of, looking at what else you can bring to the table. I've had acting coaches on from the States. People like Anthony Mindell's been on. Great guy. Love him. Think he's fantastic. He's got a, brilliant mindset. But in terms of other casting directors, I don't have many contacts in the States, unfortunately. But if people can hook us up, let us know. But I do, luckily, have a lot of contacts in the UK, so we do bring some great people on for the UK industry, although the stuff they talk about still applies just to everybody, guys, regardless of where you are in the world. This stuff is like just, completely universal, how you book an acting gig, what you can bring to the role, acting technique, what extracurricular stuff you can bring that isn't acting, it's great for everybody. Even if you're not an actor, half of the skills you learn as an actor, you can just apply to life and live a better life outside of your acting career. So I will try and bring as many, many great people as I can this year. So thanks for watching. I'm going to be back on Wednesday, guys, for probably the last book club on The Present. Spencer Johnson's The Present. Amy Linden's been in touch. Sam, is it Sam? I can't read that properly. Yeah, Amy's been in touch quite a while ago, actually. She sent me a copy of a book. Let me see if I've got it. What was it called? Because I'm going to read it, and then we're going to do not that. Oh, where is it? Amy. Got a book somewhere anyway, and yeah, I was going to read the book, and then we were going to do a broadcast on that. So yeah, Amy, I'm aware of Amy. Amy's aware of me, and we will do something at some point, I'm sure, definitely. But we're going to do this book on Wednesday for the last time. It's a great book about living in the present, not living in the past, not fearing the future. A lot of people struggle with that right now. If you're thinking of giving up on your acting career, you're probably shitting yourself about the future. This is going to help you with that. Living in the present is not as straightforward as just going, right, I'm just going to be present. 15 techniques of booking. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think that's probably the book that I've been sent. It's a blue cover, blue and grey cover. It's hard to live in the present when you've got shit going on that isn't easy. You know, that's the hardest point. It's very easy to live in the present when everything's going well. We can all do that, you know, but what makes you, you know, stronger is standing there and living in the present when, you know, you've got shit going on and you've got to go into a casting and be present. You've got to go into a meeting and be present, you know, and all you want to focus on is the stuff that's just happened outside the door. This book helps you with that. We'll be doing that on Wednesday night, so you can join us for that. It'll be the last time we look at that book, and then we'll have a brand new book that we'll be looking at the week after, and then throughout March as well. If you've got any suggestions for books, let me know. Tweet me at Act on This TV. We'd love to hear from you. But do join us for that. Subscribe to Act on This TV on Periscope, so you'll get a notification every time I go live, because I do some random ones sometimes as well. It's amazing. I use it all the time. That book, yeah, no, awesome. It's it does look good, and it doesn't look that thick either, Amy's book, so I can probably get through that quite quick. I like books that are nice and simple to read, so I will definitely check it out. Was that through Industry Hollywood, says Fanny. I didn't meet Amy through Industry Hollywood, Fanny, if that's what you're talking about. Sam might have done. He says, yeah. But yeah, no, I didn't. I don't know whether she tweeted me or I tweeted her. Or I don't know, but we got in touch quite a while ago. Right, I'm going to go, guys. Going to leave you, but thanks for that. I will just throw the diamonds up one last time. Make sure you have a look at that right now. Figure out who you want to be. Don't be the dickhead on the bottom. Yes, it's hard. I know you're struggling. I know you're probably going through a bit of pain right now. But ultimately, yeah, I promise you, I've been there. God, I've been there so many times in so many areas of my life. Every single time, I've picked myself back up, and every single time, it's worked. That's all I can say. When I look back over the things that I wanted to quit on, every time I didn't, something good happened not too long after I chose not to give it up. So yeah, hang on in there, guys. And I will catch up with you very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on the replay or if you're watching on Twitter, appreciate you. Cheers for that interview, Ross, says Sam. Appreciate it. Thanks you for watching. Thanks, Lucy. If you are watching on Twitter and you're not watching on Periscope, download the Periscope app and join us live next time. You can comment like all these people are here, which is great. Cheers, Helen. Thank you very much, Brian. Lee's back again. Don't know how long you've been away for, Lee, whether you just lost connection. But thank you for being here. Sandy, thank you. Everybody, really, really appreciate you. Go and have a think about your tactics, what you're doing right now. Whilst you go to sleep, have a little plan about how tomorrow you can attack things maybe slightly differently if what you've been doing over the past 6 months hasn't been getting you the results that you want. It's exciting, stuff like that excites me. When I'm doing some marketing and it's not working, dreaming up some new stuff, how I can get my message out there, what I can do. It excites me, and we can use that in our acting careers as well. Get excited about what you can do this week that's going to make a difference, all right? And I'll catch up with you again very soon, all right? Do you still do casting workshops, Ross? Record casting workshops. What do you mean, Mary? Do you still rec casting workshops? I don't do any casting workshops. I did one once with Michael Jackson from Beverly Keogh Casting as a little bonus. But yeah, I don't. Recommend casting workshops. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, ultimately, you should go to workshops that that are ones that you've never really kind of been to before. Sometimes if you want to just meet a casting director, not for the reason though that you're going to get a job, because I promise you, most casting directors are going to walk away from there, and 99% of the time they're so busy they're probably going to forget you. Don't go to a casting director's workshop thinking it's an audition. It's not a fucking audition. It really is not. It's the furthest thing away from an audition. What it does do, what I think is really valuable, is it puts you in front of them and you get a vibe for them. All right, and you learn about them. So when you do get an audition down the line, you've already met them. You've got something to talk about. You know what they like. You know what they don't like. and you just feel way more comfortable with them because it's like you're meeting someone. Well, it's not it's not a new day at school, is it? It's like you've been there and you've met them. That's what I love about it. I don't go and think I'm going to get a job from this, because you're not. You'll never get a job from it unless you do something incredible and you happen to go at the right time when they're looking for someone exactly like you and all the stars align. You're not going to get a job out of it. It's not how it works. But if you go and just actually are savvy and clever yourself and go, I'm going to look at what I can use this for and how I'm going to use it. It's also another great thing, to be able to get in touch with the casting director once you've been to a workshop, tweet them and go, hey, great workshop today. Hopefully I'll see you down the line at some point. And you've got your headshot as your Twitter profile. So, again, it's a little subliminal flash of your face and your name. Jordan said this. Jordan Hogg said, people, he remembers people's names. Mary, he mentions you in the interview. He says, names are really important. He says, because I remember names. He says, and I remember, he said, can I mention someone? I said, yeah. He said, I remember this woman, great little actress, to quote. And he said, Mary Fogg. And he said, I remember because of a name, because it's an unusual name or it just has a ring to it. So if you're using a stupid name on Twitter that isn't your real name, that's bad. Don't do that. Make sure you have your real name. Don't have Super Dave or whatever as your Twitter name and then some random picture. Make sure it's your first name, second name. Your username's fine. It doesn't have to be anything. You can do whatever you want there. But, just be savvy about how you get in touch with people. And going to casting workshops is a great way to follow up with people. You won't forget Silk. Patrick Silk. No, Patrick, I haven't forgotten you, so it's interesting. Brian says, that's me, Shagged. Why, Brian? What have you got? What's your actual name on Twitter? Just change it. It doesn't matter about your username. Your @name doesn't matter. Talking about your actual name, that's your display name. I was thinking of changing my Twitter to Super Ross. Well, I think that might get you a lot of auditions, actually, Tony. You should do it. Right, guys, I'm out. I'm aware it's gone 10 o'clock and people need to get to bed. So do I. But I will. I'll be back on Wednesday, and keep me posted with what you're doing. I want to see you guys smashing it. All right. Catch up with you soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you Wednesday. All right. Bye for now.